Alright, I'm gonna make this video because I know it would have helped me. Some other people have done videos, but I don't like some of the patterns they came up with. Got Mossberg Maverick 88. And we're gonna rattle can it camo. I'm only gonna do the plastic parts, grip and the stock. But we're gonna bring her to life. You can buy just the black one for like $250, or you can spend $310 on the Bottomland one, and all that's done is the handle and the stock on it too. So we're gonna not do that, and we're just gonna do it for like 20 bucks with a rattle can. First step, you're gonna have to obviously tape up anything you don't want to be painted. So we're gonna do that. Now I'm just gonna get a Scotch-Brite pad, and we're gonna hit it with a Scotch-Brite to just put some scratches in it to help the primer stick to it. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. It's got a little dirt on it right there. This will also get any dirt off of it. Alright, I think that'll work. Now I'm gonna get a paper towel with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on it. You don't have to use that. You can use anything that evaporates fast. Nail polish cleaner, paint thinner, high proof corn liquor, but who wants to waste that? Yeah, rubbing alcohol. We'll go get a rag instead of a paper towel. Where this is textured, it's tearing off pieces of the paper towel, and we don't want that in our paint. Alright, cotton rag, old piece of a t-shirt. Let's try again. Should work better. That's what we're looking for. This gun in particular, the four-hand pump, whatever you want to call it, has these ridges in it. You got to be really sure that you get everything out of those ridges. So the best way to do this step would definitely be to hang it up, but I think we're going to be alright. We'll just have to do one side at a time, and we're going to go super light coats at first. I always do a test spray. You don't want nothing coming out in globs. Very light coats. Got right there, we're going to call that coat 1. We're going to let that dry. And this is kind of obvious, but whenever you're doing this, to test your paint to see if it's dry, always on your masking tape, never on the actual whatever you're painting. Little tip though. Alright. Our first little coat's dry there. Let me go get something I can actually prop this up on. Hold on one second. Do it right like that. Do a very light coat on this side. There we go. We'll let that dry. Doesn't take long because you're doing it so light. Alright. Going with our second coat on this side. And this should turn it all the way gray. You can see there, you can still see some black in that first coat. But we're gonna lay this one thick enough it turns it gray. All right, we're gonna call that our second coat on that side. You can see that was just enough to turn it all gray on that side. When you're working with really any kind of sprayable paint, black coats are your friend, but in particular when you're spraying outside, because bugs will land on whatever you're painting eventually. I think they like huffing the fumes or something. And if it dries faster, there's less of a chance that any kind of bugs crawling on it's going to mess it up. Because if it's dry, it's fine if they're on it. If it's wet, it's not. Alright, I'm going to keep repeating that process with the primer. Just very light coats, like I said, maybe 3 or 4 more times. And then I'll show you how to make some of the stencils. Alright, I kind of lied to you. Next step isn't stencils. Next step is we're going to make it black again. But I see a lot of people skip this step. Don't skip it. This is what helps your paint stick to your primer. Hit it with that same Scotch-Brite pad very lightly. Just put some scratches in it and kind of knock down some of these high points and spots where a little bit of dust's got in it. Again, very lightly. And you can see the scratches you're putting in it while you're doing this. It's going to be hard to show on camera, but we're just putting very small scratches in that primer to help that paint stick. This texture is still showing through this primer from our original black stock, so we shouldn't need much. That texture should be all we need for that paint to stick good. I'm gonna spray this black instead of doing it like I was doing before, flopping sides. I'm just gonna hold it up like this. Found out that there's a good spot I can prop it up on the tape where I can let it dry. Don't have to leave it on its sides. So again, same thing as the primer, extremely light coat at first. That's why you always spray it. I got boogered up. Uh-oh. So this is what you want to do for your stencils. This is the way I do my stencils. Again, following that kind of mossy oak bottomland kind of look. I start from the bottom and go up. Let me put you on the other side. I bet it's easier for you to see me over here. My arm's gonna be in the way. Okay, that should be better. When you're making these stencils, the way I like to do is I'll start at the bottom right here in the middle of the tape. This is just 1-inch masking tape. Come up with a squiggle. Come up with another squiggle. And then you can make 2 more on these sides by just squiggling the edges. Some of those edge ones end up thin, but that's good. You don't want them to all be the same. You want some variety in there. Now we got our edge. We got 1 stencil. Again, these don't have to be exact. We could use that one too. That could be 2 stencils there. 3 stencils. Four stencils out of 1 piece of 4-inch tape. That's how I do that. Alright, we're going to start laying our stencils on now. It's been about half an hour letting that black dry. It's still a little bit tacky, but that'll help us with holding down our stencils at the same time. This is where your Bondo spreader comes in handy. I've had one of those in my wallet since like the sophomore year of high school. Yeah, we're going to lay these stencils on here. This is easy. Just lay your stencil, flatten her on there, repeat the process until you're fairly well covered with stencils. I'm going to do that. Alright, we got our first stencils laid on there. If you get the Mossberg Maverick 88 and Bottomland, it runs vertical like that, but I think it'll look better horizontal, so we're going to go with that. If you're following along with us, next color's brown. I'm not doing the paint as thick as I'm doing the primer because I'm having to use 3 different kinds of paint. If I did 4 or 5 layers of all the paint, I don't even know if this thing would rack. So we're going to do 2 light coats of our colors. So I did 2 light coats of black, we'll do 2 light coats of brown, and 2 of tan. So I'm just now realizing while editing I didn't shoot any footage of making the second stencils, but same thing as the first ones, different shape. If you need them bigger, just double over your tape to make your tape bigger. I think I used 1.5 inch tape for this, but I could have just got away with the inch. All I had to do was just maybe tripled it. And yeah, draw you a design, cut it out with a knife, super easy. All right. Laid our second stencils down. Again, if you look at Mossy Oak Bottomland, which is what I'm going for here, it always runs in the same direction. So if you're making these stickers, make them long, you know what I'm saying? Don't make them fat. And we're going to make sure that all this is laid down good, and we're going to spray our last color, which is going to be this tan. Flat khaki, that's what we're going with for our last color. And again, I can't stress this enough, light coats. And it's already in the thumbnail, so I know y'all already know what this looks like, and you've probably fast forwarded too. If you're at this part in the video, that means you liked what you saw, so don't forget to leave a like on the video as well. It helps out a lot. Alright, I think we're looking pretty good here to start spraying our last color. These are going to peel up, but as long as you've got them the majority of the way down, you should be alright. Coat number 1 on our final color. Let her sit and dry for a few minutes. Missed the spot. Going in with the second and last coat of this final color. You know you're done whenever your masking tape is completely colored, whatever color you're using. That's when you know it should be thick enough. Now we just gotta let this tan dry about an hour. Peel everything off, and we should have something that kind of resembles Mossy Oak Bottomland.
Look down.
Alright. Here's our finished product. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty freaking cool. Now, it doesn't exactly match the colors of Mossy Oak Bottomland. And this is also a couple hours later. I let that tan dry and I also put some matte clear on it. Now, I don't see many people do update videos when they rattle can their guns like this. So, I plan on doing some updates, like a year, 2 years, just see how well it holds up. But let me show you guys some things that I would have done different next time I do this. Yeah, David's is right here. He had to go get a shotgun just like mine, and now he wants me to do his. So, but some things I would have done different. You can already see that tan starting to crack just a little bit in certain spots. Kitty cat, you scratch my gun and I'll use it on you. But I think to fix that, all you really need to do is, instead of doing like 2 coats, do 4. Double it up. I was worried about getting too much paint right here and it making my pump too stiff. But you'll be fine. That was a dumb worry. Put 4 coats of every color, 4 or 5 coats of primer. This has got 5 coats of clear on it. I think it's beautiful. Dude, I'm really happy with it. I really like the way it turned out. And I'm going to do David's too. Instead of tan, he wants... That little goober left it. He did that. I did not do that. He wants, instead of the tan, he wants green and brown and black. So we'll see how that ends up turning out. Really happy with the way mine turned out though.